All right. Another episode of Conversate After Dark. Tay, what's up with you?
Everything's good with me. What's going on with you?
It's all good. It's all good. Tell people how they can find us.
You can find us at Conversate After Dark everywhere. And if you would like to be a guest on the show or you have a topic you want us to cover, you can reach us at CVAD, the podcast at gmail.com.
That's right. Make sure you go to our YouTube, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to the show, tell people about the show. We need all the support we can get. So on today's show, we are joined by Dr. Thix. Dr. Thix, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Glad to have you on the show. So we start off every show the same way. I'm gonna let Tay kick it off.
So, Dr. Thix, every show we start off with conversation cards. I'm going to let you choose the category. We have 3 categories. I'm going to let you choose the category, but we're all going to answer the question. So the categories are extreme personal questions, who's the biggest pervert, and the sexy 69 after dark.
They all sound really good. Who is the biggest pervert?
Okay.
That's my favorite. That's
right,
my
right.
favorite. I love it. I love it when they talk about perversion.
It's you. It's like they called your middle name.
Right.
Okay. Have you ever engaged in a threesome?
Yes.
No hesitation. No hesitation. No
Don't
hesitation.
tell my daddy.
Still, Pops don't watch this one. We'll get back to that a little bit later. Tay?
I have.
Oh, okay. All right.
So sweet and innocent.
I know. She tried. I mean,
Deep side.
I guess in some people's definition, yes, I have. Not one to my liking, but yeah. I participated in a situation where there was 3 people involved.
Okay.
That's a threesome.
Is it a threesome if it's 2 guys and a girl?
Yeah.
If it's 3, yeah, because y'all be trying to make up rules like, oh, if I want 2 guys, apparently I get a train rent on me, but you get 2 girls, it's a threesome. That's stupid.
Well, okay, so we talked about this on the show before.
Oh Lordy.
And what we have come up with, and I think Tay will back me up on this. Intention matters. So if the intention is for the 2 guys both pleasing the woman, or if all 3 people are pleasing each other, then it's a threesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just about the guys, getting their rocks off on the woman, then we can safely call that a train.
And the same for women. If all the women just want to ride the dude, tie him up, is that a train on him?
That sounds like a real good fucking time. And I'm ready to sign up for it.
Figuratively, no pun intended. I'm just saying equity is a thing. We can't just say, oh, well, if the guy just want to bang out a girl, it's a whole bang bus, it's a whole train. But then if me and the girls get together and like, let's tie that ass down and let's just shut up. Let's just ride him till he pops. Why is that not a train?
You know what? I don't know the answer. I think that we should try. So I'm gonna fly out to your area. You call all the girls, right? Y'all can ride me till I pop. I promise.
For science purposes, because of research.
Look, right? I don't normally need it, but just so that we can make sure that we get a good sample, I might go to the gas station and get a black rhino.
Oh gosh.
Oh, what?
Enter your heart with those.
The black rhino, the gas station pills.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah.
Have y'all ever fucked with a dude after he's taken the gas station pill?
How would we know?
I know of.
How would we know?
You might know because maybe it's not the first time, and normally he's not as enthused when he's giving it to you. But on that particular situation, like he's rock hard and he's going for broke. Maybe.
I don't know. I have had somebody be like, "Yo, I got this new pill. I can't wait to see you." And see, Alexa, turn on the dining room light. See what you did to her? She was like, no.
No, Alexa was ready. She was like, turn up the lights.
She was like, you are telling the secrets about the rhino. But I did have a guy was like, "Ooh, I got these new pills. When I get you, I'm gonna tear you up." And my thoughts were, that dick is huge. I don't need an extra side of tear up with that. So, but I don't know that it's happened. I've absolutely had alcohol dick. Something about y'all and Henny.
For me, it's not Henny. I mean, I don't really drink anymore, but back in the day, it was Seagram's Bumpy Face Gin. If I had some gin in me, I listen.
All Bumpy Face?
Never heard of gin.
I never heard of Bumpy Face Gin.
Okay, so you know Seagram's makes a gin, right? And the bottle has like little bitty bumps on it. That's what kind of distinguishes the bottle. So the nickname is they call it Bumpy Face. So if you're in the streets, I know y'all educated and elite, but if you're in the streets and somebody says, "Bring me a bottle of Bumpy Face," you're talking about Seagram's gin. So
it's like Braille, on the bottle. It's like Braille on the bottle.
Yeah, basically it is. Yeah, it is. It really is. Yeah. So give me that Seagram's Bumpy Face gin, and me, you, and the girls can have a hell of an experiment.
We can have that train that we've talked about. Got it.
True. True. Yeah. But I don't know. So let me ask y'all this. And Tay, I'm gonna back up off you after this, but this is a question for the lady because Dr. Thix is the guest. Do you feel it is a form of gaslighting if a guy does not tell you that he takes ED medication?
Is it a form of gaslighting?
I've never thought about it that way.
Is it misleading? Maybe gaslighting is not the
right. Because is it misleading if a man takes erectile dysfunction medication
and does not tell you?
It depends, right? So if he's taking that erectile dysfunction medication and he's blowing my back out and he is doing all he needs to do, like he joined the army, I don't care, right? So because clearly it's giving what it's supposed to give, right? It is something different if you have initiated this sort of relationship with me, you talking all dirty to me or whatever, and we get to getting, and you're like flaccid, and we haven't had you're like, oh, by the way, it don't work. Now that's problematic for me. But hell, I take a low dose blood pressure pill. I got to tell him, don't make my blood pressure go up. My pressure, man, come on. What? I don't know, not really. Now, if he I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Say.
Can't say it's gaslighting. It could be misleading, but I don't know. I want to say if it works, it works. But if you have erectile dysfunction, that might mean you need to go see the doctor about some other things. Yeah. And so you might be covering up something that you need to take care of.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's dangerous because there are situations where a guy will croak out on top of a woman because if you got ED, you do have other underlying issues, like, because it's blood flow, right? So diabetes, high blood pressure, and those things all lead to other serious health complications. But I guess, I mean, I had a woman tell me that it's gaslighting because, like, dude's putting it down, right? Like you said, Dr. Thix blowing your back out. And then all of a sudden, it's like, yo, give it to me now, like spontaneous. And he's like, whoa, wait a minute. We got to wait for this pill to take hold first.
Yeah, I think she meant misleading. Gaslighting would be more like, well, I didn't come. He'd be like, but I did. It's your problem. Well, like, I got mine. The other part of that, though, is if you're taking erectile dysfunction medication, then you are seeing a doctor. I would assume that you have been told or about underlying or comorbid or comorbidities, and thus they're being taken care of. It's something different when you have erectile dysfunction and it's not diagnosed and you're just laying out there. And I don't know if you've ever, I know you haven't, Marvin, had a dude pull the pants down and it lays there unenthused. It don't matter how much you lick and suck and tug. It'd be sad, right?
No,
Gaslighting.
I've never. No, you're right.
I'm sure.
Never.
So gaslighting would be, I mean, it works for everybody else. I don't know why you keep complaining. You act like it works. It's your fault. It's your problem. I don't know what you're talking about, but you're making me think I'm crazy because every time I'm doing headstands and backflips to make that thing stand up, it ain't standing up, and you telling me it's my fault. And then I got a problem with that, right? Because then I'm like, my head game is immaculate, right? So you're trying to tell me that all this work I'm doing is not doing nothing? Yeah, that's problematic for me. But I don't know.
So, awkward transition, not really awkward, but the head game is immaculate.
Why did I know you?
Off the flaccid dicks, we had enough of that talk. Let's get to the head game.
I don't want to trigger anybody.
How did you reach this level of proficiency?
The thing about oral sex, receiving or giving, and this is my opinion, the best oral sex comes from people who just love doing it, right? They just like drop those fucking pants and put it in my mouth, right? And so there's something exciting about somebody who's enthused about it. There's something different when a dude is blowing your back out and he's trying everything he can not to come, and then suddenly he wants to stick his face in your vagina. Because to me now it is it's not about, oh my God, I love that thing. I just want to, it's because you need to stop. So I'm good at what I do because I love doing what I do, right? Like that turns me on. So because it turns me on and because it allows me to fill out what turns you on. So I'm very intuitive of when it's happening. I listen for the change of your breath, the twitch of your thigh, because there are some guys who have absolutely come from just licking the crease between their legs, right? The leg and the dick, right? So you have to listen and you're like, oh shit, he likes that. Or if some dudes are like, I won't stick my whole balls in your mouth, and Lord Daddy, don't listen to this. And Jack and whatever, then every dick is different. What also makes horrible head is you thinking because you sucked somebody's dick yesterday and they loved it, or you ate somebody out yesterday and they loved it, and you bring that same game to somebody else and you think I'm just going to do left, right, click, click, out. That's the worst. I hate that. Don't assume because you made some chick run yesterday that making me run means I like it. Because honestly, if she runs from you, your tongue is trash. She shouldn't run. There's no woman that should be running from you unless she is absolutely orgasmed and the nubby. What can I say on this thing? The clit is very,
you
very
said everything so far. Keep going.
Right? It's too late now, right? So that's a different kind of run. Like, oh my God, I've just nutted all over his face. It's so sensitive, he won't stop licking. That's one run. But if you've just got in there and she's trying to get away, you're not listening to her body. You're not watching. You're not paying attention because she's not gonna run in the first 3 licks. Something's wrong. Same thing for, I don't know. I've never had a dude run for me sucking dick, so I don't know how that works. All of a sudden, what did somebody tell me? That I had a PhD in dick sucking, but he called it something else, and I can't remember what it was. Anyway, was that what you wanted to know?
He called you the head doctor.
I'm trying to remember what it was they called me. I'll figure it out. But see, that's the whole thing about getting older with women. I be forgetting words and things that were said. But it had something to do with
Hey,
my babies.
As long as you forget how to suck that dick, good. We don't care. We don't give a fuck about the vocabulary.
Yeah, and once it blows my mind that that people lazy suck dick. I don't know nothing a whole lot about eating coochie, but I can't understand the okay, let me just suck it. Who want? I don't. I guess men are like, I'll take it where I can get it, but it seems like that would just be a horrible situation.
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. I'm not. Head isn't mandatory for me, and the reason why is because most women aren't as good as they think they are at doing it. And the reason why is because a lot of women don't really like to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, so obviously somebody would say, well, maybe that's just with you. No, if you poll most men, they would tell you like there's a lot of women that just don't like to do it. Some may think it's gross, some just don't think they're good at it or what have you, but they just don't like to do it. And like you said, if you're not excited about doing it, if you're not enthused about doing it, just don't do it. It's either go hard or go home. So if you're like me, it's kind of juvenile, like, okay, well, at least once, just in case you want to talk shit afterwards. So I can say, yeah, but at least I have my dick in your mouth. You know what I mean? don't get too froggy. Motherfucker, I have my dick in your mouth. But like, unless you are like really good at it, I don't really want. Let's just do something else, right?
Yeah.
So
and good is relative.
Yeah. So,
yeah, it's kind of the same way with men. I can say there aren't a lot of men who are as good as they think they are.
Amen.
Really?
Because y'all don't like to take directions. Y'all don't like to listen.
Amen. She said it so much better and so much nicer than I just did. But no, we're trying to tell you, oh no, don't go straight in. And just like you dive straight in, and yeah, every coochie is different.
Yeah, I think it's because most of us think that we got it, right? I got it. And you put it, perfectly. You have to pay attention to your partner's reactions and to their body. And I think y'all really kind of overestimate how smart and in tune we are with you all. So gently guiding us to do the right thing probably would solve a lot of issues. Now, there's probably going to be some guys that are not going to be like, hold on, I know what the fuck I'm doing, whatever. I think most of us, if you say it in a way that's, sexy, like, nah, baby, do it like this, or lick right here, or do that more. We'll pay attention and get the job done.
You think so? So you think we just land there and aggressively be like, get off me? What do you think's happening? You say, because what you're saying is if we say it nicely, sexy, like, oh baby, just move it. Do you think we're not? Do you think we're just out here like, nuck if you buck off my clit? What do you think we're doing? Like angry black womaning them?
I really don't know, because my Yelp ratings are high as fuck when it comes to so I mean, I'm keeping it real.
All right, you have the hot tamales. Okay.
I have the what?
The hot tamale. They have the rate my professor, and you get hot tamales forever. Never mind.
Okay. Say hot tamales. We talk about hot and sex, that kind of, you got to be careful when you talk about that.
Listen, I think they shut it down because of that. There used to be a rate my professor, and students would give them hot tamales, and I think that may have sort of been the underlying thing. I digress.
Okay,
What
so you talked about being a professor.
Yeah.
Calling you Dr. Thicks.
Yeah.
So you are well educated, right? You are educated to the utmost of the utmost. Do you find that limits some of your dating options?
Absolutely.
Really?
There is research that supports that as well. That even, and I'll speak specifically to Black women, that the more educated we are, the less likely we are to find like life partners. And some of that may be because we are, very independent, oftentimes looking for partners that are equal. So especially if you are Christian, when they were telling us, we need to be equally yoked. We're looking for this, sort of the same sort of intellectual partners, and then you throw in height and penis size and all that things, and then you end up out there alone. So I have absolutely, not anymore, not in a while, but I used to kind of dumb myself down. Like, I don't tell people that I have a PhD. Like when I used to do the dating sites, I don't put that on there. I just say graduate degree.
That's sad.
Well, and it's not just dating. If like say I meet you guys finally, the group together, I will never say anything about having a PhD, because I'm generally very goofy, and I'm funny, and I am very down to earth. But for some reason, when somebody says, and she's a doctor, I watch faces change, and I don't like it. The atmosphere shifts. That suddenly, something magical about a PhD doesn't make me understand common everyday things, and I can't laugh or make dirty jokes. It's like a surprise, as opposed to just, this is, I cuss in my classroom. So yeah, I don't say much. So I don't really date either. So
I was just about to ask, because I heard you say you used to be on dating sites. So I was just about to ask if anybody's getting this immaculate head.
Nobody. So, oh dear God, Daddy, don't listen to this. Let me tell you what my rules are. So I got divorced in 2011, I think. I had one boyfriend since then, if you can call him that. Kind of, yeah. So at the same time I was trying to finish my PhD, at the same time my daughter had some identified special needs. I was divorcing, I was poor, and what I didn't have time for was a relationship. So because I like sex a lot, I had to put boundaries, because when you're newly free, you're relatively cute, dick just falls from the sky like hell, like, here, take this dick, right? So too much dick, it can be a bad thing. So my rules became this: 2 in a possible. At all times, I keep 2 in rotation and 1 on the bench. So there's the primary, and with him, if we decided that we were going to be test and decide whether or not we were going to use condoms or whatever, then we had to test, and we would only do that with each other. But if we saw other people, we'd have to have condoms. So number 2 would always be with a condom. Number 3 was in case one of them 2 fucked up, and then I could just roll one in. So part of that was necessity, because when I really do believe that you do yourself harm in isolating situations. So even in the worst of times or the most stressful time, you must surround yourself with others and friends, Dick, whatever the case may be. Dick and wine got me through my dissertation. So after I kind of graduated and got stable, my whole life is really was focused on my daughter and getting back to where we were before divorce, because I had a house I had to sell. And then what happens is when you pour yourself into your child, you can't date when nobody can see you, right? So I can complain about, I don't have a boyfriend, I don't have any prospects, but unless they plan on knocking on my door as Jehovah's Witnesses, it's gonna stay that way, right? So I have tried the dating sites. I think the last time I tried was right before COVID. I'm very picky is not a good word.
Selective.
I'm very selective. I picked 3. One of them had a special needs daughter as well. She had a child with autism. I have a daughter with autism. And I thought, cool, he'll understand. And then he didn't talk anymore. And then I was talking to another guy, who we were talking on the phone. He was like, so you want someone to, kind of go to IEP meetings with you, advocate, be your partner, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I do. And then it was like, oh, my daughter's on the other line. I'll call you back. Mm-mm. So what I find is men are very, very attracted to me. They're attracted to Tamara. They can sometimes be attracted to Dr. Hicks, but they're not always attracted to Skylar's mother. And Skylar's mother runs the show. So I always say that there are 3 parts of my personality. There's she has no name. And she is the person who would do the threesomes, do all that stuff, have the sex, and not give a fuck. Like no feelings attached whatsoever, right? Just sex is fun. Then there's Tamara. No, that's me, right? So I'm the funny one. I laugh. I'm the joker. I'm the friend. I'm the sister. And some of that is also the Dr. Hicks. But Skylar's mother runs everything. Everything. If anything if I believe anything is harmful for her or not good for her, it doesn't matter how good it is for me. So I've met guys who will be like, girl, I'll do this, this, and this, and this for you, but they never ask a whole bunch about Sky. So if there's that disconnect, then I'll let it go. So sometimes it's hard to kind of not only be super smart, but then have a child with special needs. So you end up doing a lot of rotating the bench and just kind of being okay with sex. I'm kind of coming out of that as I get older. So now I'm just what's the word?
A serial masturbator.
I am forced to be celibate.
So 2 questions.
Yes.
Number 1, who gives the best head between she and Marv?
She.
Okay. And then
that's a nasty bitch. She is nasty. Like she been some places that
okay.
I've woken up the next day like, bitch, what did you do? Why did you do that? And I'm having these inner conversations. She was like, cause the fuck I wanted to. Did you like it? And I'm like, yeah, but you have to do it like that. You have to do it like that. Yeah, when she is around, things that I never thought of to do, I do. It's just it is innate. It just comes. But she's a little,
And then second, you said you are somewhat celibate.
Yeah.
Are you the celibate mean you can't masturbate as well?
I can. I'd rather have some dick. But I I have long-term relationships with my team, right? But right now my team has moved, and one of them is like an hour and a half away, and the other one is like an hour away. And I was like, that's rude. So it's kind of hard to start over from scratch. I got them. It's like a good mattress, right? After you have slept in it a while and it's got your body, it knows, how to when you turn, how to cuddle you, as opposed to when you get that first new mattress, it hurts. It ain't broken in. I don't want to break in. I'm too old. And young love me.
Hey, not it. Not it. You can say it. We don't use the N word.
Oh, sorry. Unless he's amazing, because he come out swinging, and I'm like, oh, let me give this energy. But the older I get, I don't know. I don't have time.
I understand. I completely understand where you're coming from.
I mean, you look on, you watch enough. I kind of feel like sometimes Instagram and TikTok are soft porn for these fine, beautiful Black men, right? And you look at them and you like, you can get it, right? And there are some men like Mbaku. Listen, I will break my back in for him, right? So I think I'm in a place where I want to put all my energy into one. I don't have enough energy into creating a brand new team of 3. So I'm just kind of waiting or trying to put myself in a place to meet that person. And maybe, listen, we could technically have 20 years together if I could go ahead and meet him now, based on life. But all that, no, I'm not a serial masturbator, sir.
Okay.
No, nor do I use toys. I don't like them.
I know not every woman likes toys. Some women like the hands. Some women don't like to masturbate. They feel like,
I love it.
yeah. But I know some women don't. They're just like, nah, I just rather. Some women I know would say, if I'm not getting the real thing, I just want to keep it all the way shut down until
I'm gonna masturbate with the thing or not, because most of the time y'all don't make us come no way. So I gotta go ahead and
again,
finish it out.
again. Let's go back to my Yelp review. That's not my testimony.
I mean,
That's not my testimony.
Now,
I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I don't know about these things that you talk about.
I'll send us your CV, because I want to hear what your references got to say. You can say anything.
I ain't scared.
All right, okay. I believe but verify is what I say to my class. Believe but verify.
So to all my references that are watching the show, leave a comment on the YouTube.
Anonymously.
That let you know I ain't scared. I ain't scared. Leave a comment on YouTube. We're good.
All right, I expect some comments on this this episode once it goes.
I'm gonna look. Just sign in under your a different email and make up.
Right.
Nah, like,
I ain't gonna do that. Right, yeah. So you appear, you're fun, you're bubbly, you're outgoing. Obviously, you're outgoing when it comes to sex, right? And we love that because we want people to come on the show, and we don't think sex is taboo. Something that we also talk about, be educated about, because we can learn from one another. We like to have fun and be entertaining. But I think that you have shared a lot, because I know that there are a lot of other women who are highly educated like yourself, who probably like, you know what, the same thing happens to me when people find out, my level of education, and start acting funny towards me, and all the other things that you talked about. What made you so outgoing when it comes to sex?
I've always been a freak, right? And I'm not talking about that general term. like I as long as I can remember, I've always been sexual. May not have been having sex, but I was very sexual. Hell, we all played hide and go get it when we was like 8 or 9. Did y'all play hide and go get it up here in the north? It's like hide and seek.
I'm not from I'm from the Midwest.
Okay, so y'all didn't play hide. But
I won't say that. I won't say that. I personally did not play it, but I had cousins and homeboys who used to play it, and I heard
you
stories.
should play it on your next trip with adults.
There's a thing about when you were a kid, y'all could do that. But as an adult,
you got consent.
look, as an adult, that can get you 5 to 10.
All consenting adults. So yeah, I vividly have always remembered I can walk in a room and spot myself. I can feel it in the air. I can always pick out this person with the same nature that I always had. The problem has always been church. And so church would tell me that my natural sexual desires, my natural libido was sinful and something was wrong with that. And so I think it was probably after my divorce, because I not only divorced my husband, I really divorced the church that I was in, that I began to be okay with myself, right? So as I deconstruct my relationship with Christianity, I have found the contradictions, and that it is absolutely okay for me to want to pop it on a handstand. So listen, I was at this church, in short story, I was at church one time, and it was a simultaneous men's and women's conference. And so he talked to the men, and the first lady talked to the women, and they switched. And so he was like, you all can kind of drop anonymous questions in a hat or a basket or whatever. I'll put it in this basket, and then I'll read the questions, right? If there were 50 women in there, 30 of those questions were, I have a higher sex drive than my husband. What should I do? I'm not joking. It was like question after question. And his response was, that's not possible. I'm not even going to answer that. That's not possible. Yeah, I'm not going to answer that. There's no way you're telling me your sex drive is higher than your husband. Ain't no way. And he was just tossing these questions. And so it was not just that one thing. It was just this thought that in this space where people are being vulnerable and asking questions about sex and who they are naturally and their drive, that they're shut down. And I think that has been the case because I was born and bred in church, like everything and anything that you think could have been done, I did it, from praise and worship to mentoring to counting money, like everything. But I can no longer be in any space that limits who I am. And while I'm not having sex right now, all it would take is a opening of the floodgates for me to act up again, right? So I think the more that I was accepting of who I am and not being scared of that, that's what you got. It's why I can tell my students that I'm pro-sex work, and I'll put a bumper on my sticker and ride to your church and say so. Because I think that it is an amazing intervention to stop sex trafficking, human trafficking. If you give power to women and the ability to sell their own merchandise, you will stop the need to kidnap women, maybe not children, but women, because you can't kidnap something that is legal. You sell it, they can sell it themselves. It's a whole nother conversation. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So okay. So I grew up in church, so I've kind of heard all of those same religious notions. I have a question now. Do you still find yourself wrestling with maybe some of the things that you learned growing up, or have you kind of let go of it all?
I think that I'm pretty liberated now. And some of that comes from church hurt, right? So having so much faith in leadership and what was being taught over the pulpit, and then when that veil is lifted and you see not only that people are human, there's no problem with that, but that the same people who are telling you that your job is to be a help to your husband but can't answer what the husband's job is for you, the same people who would talk about their sex lives with their first lady and call it basically trash, seeing the leadership cheat and pay for abortions, and then tell me that me wanting to have a lot of sex with my husband is problematic, or that having sex with my boyfriend or premarital sex is problematic, but you have a whole wife and you run a whole church and you know that you're ministers. Hell, in my situation, my husband cheated with the prostitute and the church paid to get it expunged. So if you're gonna do that, then I'm gonna do what I want, right? And so I just came to the conclusion that I'm going to always do whatever I want as long as it doesn't hurt me or hurt others. I'm going to find my joy, and as my center is, am I doing things that are loving to others? And that's it. That's now my religion. And I'm just kind of just deconstructing, because I just don't think organized religion is the same as the spirituality that I seek, this connection with God or the universe. I think whatever it is displeased with the way that we view people and don't love folk.
So we talked about threesomes, right? Have you had a threesome with a woman and a man, two women, male, woman, or all of the above?
To a woman and man, me, a woman, two men.
That's
That one was
that's an orgy.
you would think so, but much like your comments in the beginning, you were like, I don't know.
What was bad about it?
So what had happened was, so I was dating this guy, right? And his ex-girlfriend, they were still friends. It didn't really bother me. And I don't know if we had taken a picture together, and she was like, oh my God, she's so pretty. And oh my God, her tits are amazing. And I was like, okay, well, and so I didn't think about it. So then one day we went over to her and her boyfriend's house. So it was like a 4 date or whatever.
Okay.
And so she kept flirting or whatever. And I don't know how the transition happened, but we went back into the bedroom. And so she was a very pretty girl. I can't say that I was really turned on or anything by her. But what was happening in the other room is men couldn't take it, right? They were like, there are two women in the bedroom by themselves. We can't so if anything was going to happen, it couldn't happen organically because dick had to come, right? So then the dick comes in the room. She's on her cycle anyway, so like it's really like heavy making out between girls or whatever, like what, rubbing tits or whatever. So the men are in there and they
Heavy.
come in. So they
we call that heavy petting.
right, there's some heavy petting, nipple, whatever. But then my boyfriend came in, we had sex, and then they had sex. I guess he put a towel down. So there was never like, okay, switch, right foot, stop. No, it wasn't that. It was like your girl, my girl, whatever. So it wasn't giving what I would expect in my 40s, but that was probably my first sort of intro into the possibility. But I was also still really super religious at the time. Oh no, I've sinned. I could have just turned up at Freaknik.
Okay, so you say you're a freak. What has been the freakiest thing you've done? And is there anything left on your sexual bucket list?
There's always stuff left. There's always things. So I'll start with the end. There's always more sex to be had, right? Like I haven't had sex rappelling from a mountain. There's always something to do, right? So yeah, there's some things on my list that I would love to have as a present. One specifically, I really, really would love to have a threesome with two men. Like you ever watch those videos where the dudes are massaging the girls and it'd be like two dudes, and one's at her feet and one's at her shoulder and they like moving in tandem like that, but with sex. Yep. Yep. What was the first? What was the other question?
What's the freakiest thing you've done?
I'm gonna pick something, and I'm probably later when I go to bed, I'm gonna be like, that wasn't it. That wasn't the freakiest thing. Oh, I went to a sex club on a whim for my birthday. I happened to be in a state, and I was like, wonder if there's a sex club here. And there was. And therefore we went twice. I went back. So yeah, that was fun.
What you do in the sex club? Just going. I mean, you could have been a voyeur. Did you actually?
You can. So the way it works is, so Tay and I could go in, but you couldn't go in without one of us. Like, so single men.
Dr. Thicks. I'm gonna let you explain, but we're experts on that subject matter. But
never mind that.
Listen, okay. I know how I get down, but but go ahead and explain it for our followers. Though. Go ahead.
So in this particular club, it was set up where half of it was a real club. So in the center, they would take your money and give you all the stuff or whatever. Over this side is the club, the drinks or whatever. You can mangle, whatever, but no sex in the champagne room. Then this, you come out of there and go to the other side, and there is a metal detector. You leave your phone, all that stuff, and you can take your condoms and whatever. So the one that I went to so when you walk through the metal detectors, there's a massive room. And that room had windows on the outside, but when you went inside, it was dark. There was porn playing on the TVs, and the couches, of course, look like beds, right? At the end of that is an actual bed, and then beyond that was this weird room with like gynecology chairs and like stirrups and whatever, brighter room. On the outside of that were private rooms where you could meet somebody in the room. All right. So first night, meet this. What I learned is if you go in with a girl, oftentimes they're gonna think that you are bi or you're gay. So I'm chatting up this dude, and at some point I realized he's trying to get me to go with his girlfriend, but I'm not interested in that. First night, I go to the bathroom back there, and there's this guy who barely speaks English, and he's looking at me like I climbed down from Mount Olympus. He's just like, right. So I happen to see him on the other side with his girlfriend, who also doesn't speak English, which is quite hilarious, right? So they don't even ask me. They just go in. Yeah. And she is speaking Spanish, and I don't know what she's saying, but she's having a great time. So then it was another guy over there, and he was banging this girl, and he's looking at us because I'm with my friend, and I don't know why he's eyeing us while he's banging. And so we start giving him directions, like, right, spank. Why are you looking at it? And so he's following directions, and she gets off. All right, so that's not the most interesting part of the story. So we decide to come back the next day, right? And there is a single guy in there, which is really strange. And of course, he can't go into the room, but he is on the peripheral. I also end up seeing the dude with his girl, but that's a whole other story, right? What I will say is the dude who was in there is a Christian comic on IG.
Hold on. We don't want to get.
Oh no, I'm not going to tell you who it is. I will absolutely not tell you who it is. Christian comic. And yes, we went to the side room. So it was and then I hopped on a plane and went home. It was very anticlimactic.
What city was this?
Should I say in case he sees this?
Okay, we'll leave it alone. We'll leave it alone.
It wasn't. It was south. It wasn't here.
We'll leave it alone.
Okay.
Tay.
Okay, so at the end of each show, we play a game we call Nasty or Normal. So I'm going to give you a sexual act, and you tell me if for you it's nasty or normal. The one this week is one I've never heard of. So I'm going to have to read it.
Oh, Jesus.
It's called the Boston George. It's the act of ejaculating up a girl's nose, followed by her snorting it like cocaine.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You don't even have to finish. No, ma'am.
Boston George.
let me tell you. Let me say something about this. So
hold on. Wait.
The other day.
Wait. Tay, what does it say? You are you nutting nutting on the table, and she got it like with like a dollar bill, like snort it up, or like.
It says you can snort it up her nose, or she snorts it as if you're.
Absolutely not. Now I've taken some cum to the face, but there's no, and I probably have swallowed some. But what's not gonna happen is it's not gonna hit my sinuses. Absolutely not. It ain't coke. No. And let me further tell you why not. I was watching this show on last week. It's on Netflix. I can't remember the name of it. Something about, it's a documentary about rich folks. Anyway, this one chick was a porn star, and one of her top porns was is it bukkake?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So she did a 59 man bukkake, and that hoe got salmonella. Yeah, she got salmonella from all that bukkake. Now, all I can say is it ain't worth that. It ain't worth snorting nothing and getting salmonella in the nose. In my eyeball.
Salmonella from nut though. How's that work?
And so all she could say was she didn't understand it either. She was like, but when she left there, she had salmonella. Now I could see her getting an STI.
Yeah.
From the fluid, but I would assume that they would test all 59 of those men. But yeah, she said she came out with salmonella.
Go ahead. Stop being scared, Dr. Thix. Get that post nasal drip.
Listen, I'm not doing, what did I say? I'm not going to do anything that doesn't bring me joy and pleasure. That does not bring me joy, nor does it please me. What ain't no orgasm happening from there. That's you now. I absolutely had somebody come on my face while I'm masturbating. That was joyful, but snorting it, no,
I'm gonna go ahead and call that nasty.
Yeah.
that ain't normal.
I'm gonna call that nasty. It's creative, but it's nasty. Yeah, it's nasty. Well,
Yeah.
Dr. Thix, you have been a riot. I really appreciate all your openness and your candor. And we say this a lot, but I really mean this. I definitely think we would like to have you back on the show.
Yay!
I really, I really like your perspective, and there's so much we didn't even get into. I think even half of what
No.
with you, So we'll go ahead and we'll schedule that. We'll schedule that experiment as well.
Is this the snorting of your children?
No. We gotta do. I'm talking about that reverse train. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the tying you down
all the way back.
when you take the pill. Okay.
Yeah. I had my manager call you, but
aren't y'all supposed to go tomorrow at some point?
Yeah, I have to do it. But tell them where they can find us.
You can find us at Conversate After Dark everywhere. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, even if you want to be anonymous or you have a topic you want us to cover, you can reach us at CVAD the podcast at gmail.com. Make sure you like this video, share it, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you can be notified whenever we post videos.
That's it. We'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.
Bye.